Good evening. Welcome to The Big Debate, your favorite show in Mzansi. Today we explore the biggest and burning topics of our time, which is global warming. Joining me are two president candidates with two different views. The one that's for climate change and the one that's against, who does not believe in climate change. On my left side, I have Dr. Linda McFleury, who is a climate scientist and advocate for urgent action. And on my right side, I have Mr. SIPHO Dlamini, who is a skeptic for global warming and also an advocate for economic growth. Gents, let's begin.
Well, first off, with globalization and how the idea around globalization, global warming, around different factors of the world is that simply because everything is natural. If you think from the beginning of time, since the 1600s, continuing to 1800s, you had continuous ice melting from the north, impacting the rest of the world, our ocean levels. So you can all see that it's typically natural. So you can't really blame what substances go into the air, oxygen. It doesn't really make sense as it's been a continuous life form that has been going on for a continuous amount of time now. And I think that is why I believe globalization is not in particularly a serious factor that we're facing.
Okay.
Now, as a climate scientist myself, I never want to discount nature.
True.
Of course, it's a very, very demanding variable, you know. However, one thing that I do want to counter on that you have said is talk about the natural process. Now, unfortunately, us as human beings, we are part of the animal kingdom, but because of our decision to live outside the natural processes, we have invariably sped up the heating of the earth. I do want us to remember our history and how that affects the planet. Like you were saying, in the 1700s, we were experiencing an industrial revolution. And any type of revolution that human beings have experienced has become a net positive for us, but an incredible downside for the planet. Coming together as humanity, while a great thing, ultimately is hurting us if we are not going to regulate.
Okay, guys, so do you think that global warming is natural or is man-made?
Even if we were not around as a human race, maybe if we went out extinct, we would still have the same problems because animals would be eating crops continuously. Animals would be drinking water. Animals would be doing all the other things that they continue to do on a mass production, and it was going to happen eventually. That's like this current point where we're at right now in the world, where we have globalization as a problem. We are going to get to that point anyway.
So what, Mr. McFleury, what do you say about his skepticism?
We as a society and as a species have reached a point where we're no longer satisfying our needs. A lot of the world's needs can be met. However, we just choose to keep feeding our desires. Now, because of that, we produce more cars because we like them, right? We don't need all the cars.
We don't need all the cars,
but we like them, so we produce more. Not to mention we need deep sea divers, so now we need to build a submarine. More metal, more extraction from the earth, more heat is being produced.
What do you think about the effect that global is going to have in the future?
We will have less and less water surrounding the planet in general because evaporation will happen at a much faster rate because now we are exposed to more powerful UV rays coming from the sun.
Do you think that what he's saying is exaggerated or?
Globalization can be controlled. It's not such of a harshful thing that's going to happen in Earth. It's just something that needs to be controlled. That's technically what I think.
Two different views and they both have valid points. What do you think? You can find us on our different platforms on social media. At Instagram with The Big Debate and on Twitter with The Big Debate. And you can also find us on Facebook, The Big Debate. What do you think? Thank you.
Thank you.